Well, hello, Orlando here. Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm just going to stop and chat a bit about what's been happening to me over the last few weeks. Perhaps the title for today's talk is really the first month of owning a fursuit, and how it's made an amazing difference to my life, really. As many wiser furries than me have already told you, you definitely do not need a fursuit to be a furry. And in fact, I would say I've been a furry for quite a lot longer. I think the first time I would have to say I wanted to do this would have been back in April, when I bought a day ticket for Fursuit. And I went on Saturday the 5th of April to Fursuit. I didn't have any suit to wear, I just went in my plain clothes as them. I had a great day, had a lot of fun, got to interact with a few people in suits, and the thoughts were going through my mind then, I enjoy this is something I like. It's different, but I enjoy it. I think I'd like to do this. I don't know when I got my first fursona. I honestly can't remember. But the first fursona, as you might be aware, was actually a wolf. I did try and get my wolf commissioned by a local maker sometime after going to Fursuit, but unfortunately I wasn't lucky enough to get a spot, so I had to basically sit on my hands and sort of wait for something more to happen. Anyway, it was a few weeks later. It was a Sunday night, I seem to remember, and I was casually looking at the internet, as you do. I was actually lying in bed, would you believe. It was just quite late on a Sunday night. I was looking through Etsy and I saw an advert for this guy, and looked into this guy's eyes, Orlando's eyes, and I thought, I'm looking at me there, this is me. And that put me into a very difficult position, as it said the suit would fit a 23 to 24 inch head, and I knew I got a slightly bigger head than that. So what would I do? I actually messaged the maker, who said, yeah, no problem, we can let the suit out a bit for you so it fits. And yeah, that's what has happened. He bought the suit. He eventually arrived here in Brisbane on the 3rd of June, so that was 5 weeks to make the journey from the US. And having made the journey, picked him up from the post office, took him home, set the camera running, and made the unboxing video. And I've made that video about having received the suit probably 20 minutes earlier. And what you see in that video is actually quite genuine. I'd honestly never put a fursuit headbutt on before in my life. And so yeah, it was the first time for everything. It was a life-changing moment, and I'm very glad I documented it on camera. It's not the best video there was ever seen, but hey, my daughter's got a filmmaking gear. Perhaps we'll do some higher quality things one day. So now I'm making this video on Sunday the 20th of July, so just about 6.5 weeks later, and a lot has happened since I got the suit. An awful lot has happened. I think the first thing to say is an awful lot's happened for the better. I am so excited about having this guy to wear. He just gets a complete buzz, a complete thrill every time to put him on. It just feels great to wear him. I think, as anybody would know, not all furries have fursuits, and there's definitely a few cons about owning a fursuit. I think the first obvious one is cost. I think this guy had a list price of $1,900 US, and then on top of that to pay freight, which was quite a lot. The US Postal Service doesn't half miss you for freight. And we got him back here as far as Australia, and because he's worth more than $1,000 local currency, and they've got to pay duty on him. And to be honest, the difficulty of importing a suit into Australia is actually quite significant. I actually had to hire an agent to help me in the end. So it cost me over $1,000 in local currency to get him out of his quarantine and bring him home. So expense is definitely a problem for those that want to own a fursuit. Yep, there are some budget options, but I would say be careful. And I will do another video at a later stage of pros and cons of buying a fursuit as opposed to making one or commissioning one. But here we are, we have a pre-made suit. The other challenge with the suit, obviously, and something you're finding out already, is maintenance. This guy needs looking after. In particular, got to keep him nice and clean. So you need some fursuit spray, and you need a balaclava to wear underneath him. And also just to keep a constant eye on the seams. This guy seems a little bit prone to bursting seams around his neck. In fact, he's repaired about 2 or 3 seams already on him, and in fact today I've just noticed there's a small hole where the lining has come away from his neck. So when I finish this video and the suit has dried out, I'm going to basically go away and repair him yet again. I think this is going to be a constant thing. It's going to be a constant thing. I think this guy's just going to need ongoing maintenance. When he needs a real wash, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that, because obviously I don't really fancy putting these beautiful 3D printed antlers through a washing machine cycle, so I guess he's got to be spot cleaned. And we've got some fur. I've actually got some sample fur in the cupboard here, so I'll actually try cleaning things out on that first, just to make sure I'm not going to do any damage to him. Because the last thing I want to do is damage my fursuit, because yeah, he's very special. I already know that he's very special. So that's what the downside is of owning a suit: maintenance and cost. What's the upside? And as I say, wiser furries than me tell me that there's a lot of things you can do in this fandom without ever going anywhere near a suit of your own. Yes, you can go to cons, you can go to fur meets, you can commission art, you can enjoy the art, you can enjoy the films. Oh, there's a kangaroo outside. It's the middle of the afternoon here, so what the kangaroo's doing on, I've got no idea. But yes, there's a lot of things you can do in the fandom. You can interact with others online. You can go into VR chat, and for a few dollars you can buy yourself an avatar. You can buy something that looks a bit like this and interact with people there. There's a lot you can do without a suit, an awful lot. But at the end of the day, when you've got a suit, it just gives you that last few percent. When you go to a con, you're not going as a member of the audience, you're going as a part of the show. When you're taking photos, you're not taking a photo because you want a picture of that person in the cute suit standing next to you. The person wants a photo of you in your cute suit standing next to them. It just changes the dynamic so much. Again, as others have said, if you're socially anxious, wearing a fursuit is a tremendous help in getting to know people. Simply because if you go to a con or a fur meet, you can literally go up and talk to any suitor that's there almost, and most of them are going to be very happy to talk to you and interact with you. It just makes the social side of the fandom so much more dynamic and enjoyable, really. Look, I'm still shy. I don't think I'll ever completely lose that character. I'm still a bit shy, and there are days when perhaps I think, do I really want to go onto social media this evening and talk to people? I think I'd rather have a night off and go and do something else. So it is what it is. We are what we are. But certainly having a suit just gives you that extra percentage in the cons and meets. It also means you can start taking photos, having your photo taken and posting your photo in places, and again helps with the online social media interaction. Now, I think I'm very lucky here living in Brisbane or near Brisbane, because there are 2 very active fur meet groups locally, and they meet on a Tuesday night. They both meet on an alternate Tuesday, so virtually every Tuesday there is a meet you can go to if you feel strong enough. And so far I've managed to get to 3 meets, 2 official ones and 1 unofficial one. Hopefully going again on Tuesday, provided I'm feeling well enough and my wife's well enough to be left home for a few hours. The only slight problem with going to meets from here is I'm about an hour and a half from home in the centre of Brisbane. So it's a fairly long night out, and also I haven't got time to come home after work before going to the meet. So when on a Tuesday, Orlando goes into a nice big bag and he goes with me to work. At the end of work he goes in the car with me, and together in business clothing we go down to the meet. Now what that means is another strange thing, is that now means that virtually everybody at work knows about Orlando. They all know me, and guess what? So far the reaction's been entirely positive. As soon as Orlando appears, people start smiling and reaching for cameras, and that makes me feel good. It makes them feel good too, which is one of the reasons let's do this. It's just rocket fuel. It's rocket fuel when you can just get your suit out and people start being happy around you. In fact, actually one of my professional colleagues tried him on the other day, so perhaps there's more going to come from there. But again, I will talk more about work in a future video. And yeah, I will keep on going to the meets, and we shall keep on showing off his furriness, Orlando the deer dragon, to those who want to see him. And yet, quite a lot of things planned. We are very lucky, as I say. There's 2 local cons. The next one is Tales of Terror, which is on in October. I've actually got a room for the night, for one night there. So hopefully we should have a good day and get to meet a few more people and talk to a few more people. But in the meantime, what would I say about owning a fursuit? If it's a dream you've had all your life, save up and do it. I'm getting old now. I wish I'd done this years ago. I really do. It's made such a huge difference. It's made an amazing difference to my life, life changing. If you've ever really wanted to own a fursuit, then do the saving up, do the hard yards, and do it. Buy one, commission one, or if you're good, and learn the skills and make one. And I think that's all I've got to say for today. It's been a pleasure, folks. Always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm sure we'll keep on talking from time to time. I'm sure there's plenty more stories and information we've got to share. Fortunately today we don't have any cats interrupting, which is good, but I have got a large kangaroo outside the window, so we'll go and see what he's doing out there today in the middle of the afternoon. Anyway, until next time we meet, stay safe and do something that makes you happy. Thank you, and it's goodbye from Orlando. Bye.